I've been planning to start my business in the past 4 years. This is something a founder told me last year. And he wasn't your typical onepreneur. He had world-class sales and marketing skills and a proven track record of scaling other people's businesses. But somehow he never dared to start his own business. And 4 weeks into working together, he had launched. 7 months later, his business had crossed $100K a month in revenue. What changed? We eliminated the silent killer that keeps even the most talented entrepreneurs stuck. After coaching 330 guys one-on-one, I've identified this pattern and called it the execution gap. In my experience, this is the trap that ends more businesses than anything else, and no entrepreneur is immune. It all starts by understanding what is the execution gap. See, first let me show you with a real example. So last week, one of my clients approached me and told me, dude, I have everything ready, IG is ready, my outreach script is ready, I even blocked time in my calendar, but I can't do it. And this is the execution gap in action. It's the distance between knowing what to do and actually doing it. It occurs when you know what needs to be done, but you don't do it. The science behind is fascinating. See, your conscious mind, your thinking side, knows exactly what needs to be done, but your subconscious, the feeling side, creates emotional resistance. When the conscious and subconscious are aligned towards the same goal, you feel good about it and you do it. You get things done, you identify the things that need to get done, and you don't doubt yourself. No issue. But if you don't know how to do something, you fear failing at it, you are uncertain of how it will play out, or you don't even know if you are going to be able to deal with the grueling work before you see the results, you'll stop yourself, you'll self-sabotage, you'll create an execution gap for that particular task. This is when you start overthinking, catastrophizing, or ruminating, having those swirling thoughts in your mind that lead absolutely nowhere. All of those swirling thought patterns eventually lead to avoidant behavior, which is not doing what you know you need to do to move the ship forward, which creates the execution gap. And in my work with 300 founders, I've seen that this typically relates to 3 things. 1 is marketing, creating content, putting yourself out of camera. 2, sales, cold or warm outreach, or leadership, either hiring, firing, or having difficult conversation. What's fascinating, research tells us, is the most important a task is, the more significant resistance you will have towards it. This is why so many talented entrepreneurs never end up scaling, because they can't deal with the emotional resistance that comes from an execution gap. And the execution gap kills businesses. See, because it doesn't only slow your business, it kills your momentum and your confidence. And the longer you stay stuck in it, the harder it becomes to recover. Here's an example. Imagine you have a very good product and you know for a fact that you need to be doing outbound sales. And you have a list of 100 perfect prospects that you know need your product, but you spend weeks perfecting your product, or perfecting your pitch, or researching more project, or whatever. But another entrepreneur with an inferior product is making 50 calls a day, learning from every rejection and improving rapidly. Who do you think is going to win the market? See, I've seen this play out so many times. This is natural, but it is not normal. Everybody falls into this execution gap, even myself sometimes, but the best among us are able to get themselves out as fast as possible, because it is not something you eliminate for good. It is something that is going to materialize every time you are faced with emotional resistance. And if you are an aspiring elite performer consistently pushing outside of your comfort zone, you are going to be facing resistance. You will only win if you know how to channel that resistance into productive action. The problem is that if you don't deal with this effectively, you will fail, because every minute spent delaying, procrastinating, or being unable to do the right thing, it is a moment you're using to rewire your brain in a negative way. It is compounding to make you worse over time. This is why elite performing founders do not waste time, and they're consistently working on solving that gap to become more effective over time. This creates a positive compounding effect. The faster they get into execution, the better results they get, the more confidence they get, and over time, they are unstoppable. Now the question becomes, how do you solve this gap? Well, first of all, realize that there's many execution gaps. There's a lot of things you know you could be doing, you're not doing. I always like to say that you have to create a long-term transformation and then master the tactics that help you move forward faster. The first step is to develop what I call execution awareness. See, raise your awareness and learn to spot When do you stop yourself? When do you get stuck in planning mode? What are the things you naturally are not good at and do not do automatically? And then build systems around those tasks so you can break them down into small manageable pieces and consistently do them without a lot of emotional resistance. And finally, cultivate speed action bias. Very important. Make faster decisions, embrace imperfect action, set aggressive timelines, move consistently faster than you think is comfortable, because that is when you start winning. Which leads me to step number 2, which is create micro milestones. Instead of saying, I'm gonna be writing a sales page, you write a headline first, then you have the first version, then you add a customer story, then you create the first review. Over time, you break down every system into manageable pieces. And finally, again, execute fast, execute consistently. Go towards the goal as fast as humanly possible to reward yourself and consistently get better. Every single small win creates momentum. It makes the next action easier, and you start surfing the waves of your own momentum. And remember the founder I mentioned at the start? His transformation wasn't magic, but it really looked like so, because he started to spot the execution gaps and close them weekly using this exact framework. And you know what happened? His business tripled. Not because some sort of magical intervention, but because he started literally sending 80 DMs every single day for over a month. And that is how his business scaled 3 times within the next 4 to 6 weeks, right? This is the real thing that makes people successful. It's not how much marketing or sales they know. Those are technical skills, which are very important, but it's how much they can do, how they can consistently get things done without doubting themselves, without falling to the execution gap, without falling prey to the negative thoughts that their mind automatically sends them. If you want our help to reward your mind in 6 weeks, book a call with us. We'll be happy to review your application. But for whatever you do, aim to work on closing the execution gaps in your life as fast as humanly possible, because that lies the secret to your success.